So I believe Atlanta United kicked off their preseason as well as other MLS
They
teams.
did
We are training, yes.
They're
indeed.
training. I believe the season kicks off February 20th, something. Inter Miami plays.
Oh, our
I can't-
first true MLS game? Oh, the MLS season.
Inter
Ours.
Miami kickoff. I don't know when
Of course.
our first game.
Why would Inter Miami get the first game? I don't know about that.
But Dave, the silly season has been in full effect
Yep.
for MLS and Atlanta United.
Yep.
Obviously, some big moves, a lot of departures immediately after our season ended. There was a lot of people that have gone. Most notably, Miles Robinson. I would say that's one of the biggest departures. I think Sosa and Ibarra.
Well, let's just start there with Miles.
Yep.
Right? So Miles Robinson leaves and he doesn't go to Europe. He goes to Cincinnati and he takes the exact same salary that we offered him. Okay? The exact same salary that we offered him. What does that tell you?
It tells me that, like everybody else says, like, well, sometimes you need to change the scenery. And what that means is that scenery must look better from somebody who's been inside of our club, who's somebody that, in my opinion, certainly doesn't look like a poison pill. Not a guy that's bad in the locker room.
Nope.
One of the guys who is up and
No
coming.
arroz con pollo for him.
Yeah. A guy who's still, sought after as, lots of potential, is hopefully, being somebody to be on the roster for the next World Cup on the U.S. men's national team as a starting center back potentially if he keeps progressing. So my viewpoint is he also is looking for a team that can make him look better in 2024. And to me, that's my biggest concern. That Atlanta United must have something going on that is not giving a guy like that belief who's been with the club 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who's talking to him? Who's saying, Miles, man, like, we've got the confidence in you? Because the only reason you leave a company, right, is if they don't believe in you or you don't believe in the company's leadership and ability to succeed. If all things are equal, if you're not getting like a 30% better offer at Cincinnati, that means they're a better organization, better culture. There's something. They're all going to say the same nice things, like, hey, it was a mutual thing. It was best for both players. But there's something there that really eats at me in terms of what this really means for his opinion of something or a culmination of things. It's probably not just one thing.
Right.
That's led to his decision there.
So, Carmen, tell us what his rationale was.
Well, I can't remember who he gave the interview to, but he says he is leaving Atlanta to go to Cincinnati because he does not like the turf. So he wants to go to a home field that has grass. Now, they did connect it to, I don't know if he did, but they've said maybe because of his Achilles injury that they, maybe it was because of turf. So now he wants to be nicer to his body and play on grass. But I don't know about all that.
You know what turf is code for?
What is it code for, David?
Pineda.
Yeah. It is.
It has to be.
Yeah.
Because look, you leave a city in Atlanta, which, okay, no offense to Cincinnati, but Atlanta's a bigger city, vibrant city, whatever. So it doesn't really seem, Cincinnati is a great city, but it's not an upgrade. You leave Mercedes-Benz where you can get 72,000 at times. You leave the amazing facilities that we have, which is considered to be the best in the entire league, right? And the huge number of fans, right? Mm-hmm. To go to cold, outdoors, smaller fan base. Yeah. That has to be. Right. And it doesn't just mean Pineda. It means like he thinks that they're going to be a far better team. It's going to show him better.
He plays on turf. What, like 14 times a year when he's at home? I mean, that's not a lot. That's not a lot of minutes. That's not a lot of risk. Even if there was any evidence that said there is risk, it is certainly not certainly not a reason to leave Atlanta United.
Yeah. Now, Tommy, we have Tommy on the chat that said he was offered a long-term I'm assuming here for Atlanta, a long-term contract only and not short-term. So so could that be a reason?
Well, I don't understand why, right? Like, that just means that if he plays well, his market value goes up and you sell him to a European team.
Yeah, I don't think that he was thinking that in a long-term contract means that he couldn't get out. So Atlanta would never. I mean, they have said over and over, and they've backed it up that they're not going to stop people from making big money moves to Europe, right? So getting a longer-term contract, I don't think is a deciding factor. They clearly, if a year from now or 2 years from now, somebody came in with a big money move for Europe, he'll do it.
Yeah.
Right. Like I just don't think like if he is under a 4-year contract at Atlanta United, the same salary, right? And a European club was really interested in him and they're willing to pay whatever the $4 million transfer fee is, like that was the difference versus next year his contract's up after Cincinnati, has a banger year.
Yeah.
He goes with no transfer fee to any club that he wants. Like they're gonna pick him up if he's playing well.
Yeah.
Right.
At either club.
You could be right, Tommy, in saying that if you play poorly, right, the fact that the contract runs out means you're a free agent, and then someone's more likely to give you a chance because it's a free transfer.
Right.
But only if you play poorly.
Right. Only and
you got to figure a player like that is going to back themselves, right?
But here's the thing. Remember, there was a point last season where at least I was, and I think several people were, is Miles as good as we think he is?
Yes.
And I remember Katz broke it down saying because of the tactics, because of our team, he doesn't look as good as he is because he's trying to do things that he shouldn't have to do. So I do wonder, like, you don't want to be in that position. I mean, whether it's Pineda, it is Pineda because
I really felt like it was about a third of the season to go. There were these moments where Miles started doing something for the first time I've ever seen. And it was like these rush of blood to the head, like sprinting out to try to stop attacks before they even started. And it seemed to me like it was the first time I thought it was frustration, right? Okay. That I keep getting let in these situations where I can't do anything, right? I'm back, but I can't. So I have to go stop it before it even starts, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about his performance in the U.S. men's national team it wasn't that stellar either. He kind of rush of blood to the head, kicked it out of the back in a not so correct way, and that led to a goal against him.
He had a couple of bad balls out of the back, but I mean, that's not been his strength. His strength has really been defending, but he's still a quality.
He's a quality player, and I think with
and all the people who said, "Oh, we give up all these goals, he can't really be that good," I disagree completely.
Yeah. We've already pointed out why we think those goals are happening.
Yeah, it's not like he's suddenly getting beat 1-on-1 or whatever, right? It's just not happening.
Yeah. All right. So the other shocker for me, and I didn't think I'd ever talk about Miguel Berry again, but he got signed to a 2-year contract with LA Galaxy.
Guys, I can't. I don't.
Hey. That guy's got to have photos of people or something.
That's exactly what I thought. That is literally exactly what I thought.
How in the world does anybody look at that body and have any kind of, maybe they don't have any kind of scouting department or any kind of statistics department or whatever. How does anybody look at that at all and decide they're going to take a chance on that?
Well, first off,
I wouldn't even take him if I were an A-League team. Like if I were Memphis or whatever that league's called now, right? I wouldn't even take him in that.
I wouldn't either.
No.
Absolutely not.
I mean, there's just a pure eyeball test, right? And I talked about him all last season, and I really harped on him because it really got under my skin because I really watched him like a hawk. And the narrative on him is that he was doing all the unappreciated dirty work.
No.
Guys, I know soccer in terms of
we went to the stadium to watch where you could watch him all the time. Yeah. That's what Mikey Dowd is saying. Now keep going.
Yeah, watch him all the time at home. He had a decent amount of minutes. I want to say like 900 minutes last season. So there was plenty of time to watch him, particularly during the first half before Giacomakis got here. And just unimpressive all around. He's offside 0 times, which means you're not making any sort of dynamic runs to try to press the back line. Didn't do any real hard work off the ball.
No, I mean, this is such a cliche when players are not performing. They say, oh, he's working hard, right? Because he has to be, because otherwise he wouldn't be in the lineup. When you watched him and you only watched him, you say, okay, is he really working hard? He was not working hard, people.
No.
So what does that mean?
So I really would love to have the LA Galaxy scouting person on our podcast and ask them.
I mean, Elliot says he's the cheap option, but I feel like there are better cheap options.
It doesn't matter what you're paying him. If you get no production from a forward, you could pay him
And I can't remember.
Like, why would
The
you pay
cheap
$1
option.
for him?
Did they post the thing before or after last podcast? They were like, "Thank you for the moment."
Yeah.
Like that one
The
goal he
moments.
scored for us.
Yes.
I was like,
He
"Come
did
on."
score a banger.
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
In all those minutes, he had one ball that sat up perfectly for him, and he hit the bejesus out of it. But
1 goal and 1 assist last season for
Yeah.
Atlanta United.
Yeah,
9
and
shots.
it was a spectacular goal.
It was.
Oh, great.
I can't believe he had an assist. Really?
Columbus Crew, he had 2 goals and 0 assists with 20 shots on goal. And then DC United, he had 0 goals, 0 assists, and 8 shots. That's his last 3 active seasons.
All in the same league that he just transferred to.
I honestly.
So what?
And he had he had 8 goals at
Now,
Columbus Crew.
when he's on the
the
field, the
season
team
before
doesn't
that,
seem to
21.
score. So maybe he could be a defender.
during a COVID year, he had his his best.
You know
best
what you could
performance.
do? Here's maybe they're thinking, Mikey Dobbs.
Yeah.
So before each game, they loan him to the opponent, and he plays, and then he can't score. So you help your defending by by doing it.
My mic's about to fall. on
Okay,
the
you go
line,
fix
so-
that. We'll keep talking. Well, who do we want to talk about next?
Now I'm depressed. after
Let's
talking about
go.
Maverick.
You fix that,
Oh.
and Carmen.
No,
and
I
I'm
I-
to
good.
fix it?
I'm gonna just say we're all good there. I'm gonna just not
I'm
bump
just-
it.
Or you
touch
keep
him.
talking about.
I can do it. I can do it. Y'all talk.
So-
Y'all talk.
so-
Talk, talk.
So the other moves that are at least names that were part of the club for a while were Franco Ibarra, which we knew had gone on loan to a Canadian team, and then Sosa finally went on loan to Rosario, I think was the name of the club.
Racing.
Racing.
Right? Yeah.
It was Ibarra's at Rosario
in
and-
Argentina. Yeah.
and yeah, here, let me pull this thing out of there. And so yeah, that's that. And then who else left? We got Alonso who left, Diop gone. We already talked about those players. Anybody else worth mentioning? Amar Sedic is gone.
Marcetic is gone. Rosetto is gone.
Yeah.
You already said Ibarra. You got you got them all. I think
Yeah, where did Josetu go?
nowhere. He hasn't been signed yet. Surprisingly, we released him. We failed to pick him up again, right? And nobody. Is that surprising to anybody? I mean, as we talked about in the playoff against Columbus.
Thank you.
So if you go back to the Columbus Crew playoff series, right? Our midfield, we had Muyumba, right? But we started Fortune and Josetu,
Yeah.
right? That is not an MLS midfield. We had and the ironic part is we played against Columbus Crew. It has the best center midfield in the whole of the league, right?
Good enough.
And we got killed in the midfield.